everybody, welcome to my channel and welcome to my van build series. My name is Vanessa. I am here today and I am working on the slab flooring of my van with my friend Miss Charlene. So we pulled the pre-existing mat out of the van and we're just tracing it onto 3 pieces of plywood. We have 3 pieces of 3/4 inch birch plywood. Now I'm going to tell you right now, I would recommend that you get the 3/4 inch pine because it's a little cheaper. It's $49.99 per sheet, so that way you could save a little money. So I'm going to be giving you tips as I go to a couple of, you learn things through trial and error. So we had to learn things the hard way, and I would do a couple of things differently than I did at this time. So number 1, I would put the mat down, and where the mat meets on top of the wood, I would put the tape underneath that to begin with. So when you draw your line, the marker will be directly onto the tape, so that way you can see the line on top of the tape. So I would recommend you do it like that. If you get a wider tape, then you can just kind of put it where you are going to trace around it. So hopefully that will be helpful. So then what we did was put the wood down on the van, and then I have my furring strips on top. So that way I can see exactly where I need to place my furring strips to make sure that my furring strips are going to land in a place where the wood meets. So I definitely recommend you do it that way. And if you notice, we are running our furring strips horizontal instead of vertically. This is the way that I would recommend everybody to do the floor in their van. So that way, when you do place your furring strips down on the bed of the van, it will be even and you don't have to worry about everything being uneven. It's going to be even because it's going to sit directly on top of those grooves. And also, if you can see underneath the furring strips, I do have my van insulated, and I insulated it with first of all, I used the kill mat, and then I insulated it with the heat resistant mat, and then on top of that we are going to put the furring strips in every area that I want to put them. And then in between that, we have the foam insulation as well. So I actually have like 3 layers of insulation on my floor. And then on top of that, you can put your plywood directly on top of the furring strips and see how everything is going to be more cohesive and everything is going to be even. And also, wherever the furring strips meet at the joint, we're using glue. I'm gluing my plywood down. I'm gonna put glue on each and every one of my furring strips before I lay it down, and then I'm just going to lay my plywood directly on top of that, and that glue is going to help give it an additional bond. Now, when I had all of my plywood down on the floor, we nailed it down. I'm going to recommend that you do not nail it down because the nails did come back up through my tile. Some of the nails did come back up through my tile. So I'm going to recommend that you do not nail it down. If you feel like you need to attach the plywood to your furring strips, I prefer or recommend that you countersink your holes and screw it down. Do not nail it down with a nail gun because the nails will come back up through your tile or whatever it is that you have on your floor. So that's a couple of things that I learned the hard way, is that I would not use a nail gun to nail the screws down. And I definitely would run my boards horizontal instead of vertical. And I would do everything else that I've done to the floor here, except for using nails with a nail gun. Also, I want to add that I did my van build in Nevada, and it was in the summertime, and it got up to 120 degrees, 115 degrees some days. And I want to let you guys know that insulating the floor the way that I did made a huge difference. As you can see, this is how the van looked when I first got the van. And you can see the mat that it had in there. I ended up pulling all of that out, and everything that was pre-existing in the van, I ended up pulling all of that out as well. So I just want to give you guys a reminder of how the van looked when I first got it. And I didn't film me putting down the tile, or if I did, I probably did it on another phone. But I just wanted to show you guys how the floor turned out and how the tile turned out with the flooring the way that I did it. Again, I am going to recommend that you run your boards horizontal, because it's going to give you a more even playing field. And I would also recommend that you don't use nails to nail your plywood down to the furring strips. I would recommend that you countersink your holes and use some screws if you feel like you need screws. Some people don't nail it down or screw it down at all. So if you guys have any questions about the subflooring or about the way that I framed out my van, or anything that I'm doing in the van, leave your comments in the comment bar below, and I will try to make a video that will be helpful and answer any questions that you have. So thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in. I hope this video was helpful. I'm learning as I'm going, and if I do another van build in the future, I have learned a lot from this particular van build. And I think every time you do a van build, you're going to learn something that you didn't realize the last time, or you're just going to learn something in reference to the materials that are better for the van build and how to do it a little bit more economically than you did it the first time. Thanks for watching.